So a Diddy accuser, Audrey English, who was known as I'm Unique, is the accuser who said that Diddy sex trafficked her during a time where she was like flown out to a Labor Day all-white party in the Hamptons, and she was originally supposed to be there just like as a dancer, but then she was like later drugged and through her drink and you know forcibly made to have sex with people for money and all these different things. So yesterday, her attorneys filed to be able to withdraw from representing her. Now, they tired. They went out, and there are a bunch of different reasons why they went out. But most importantly, they're saying that they're receiving, first and foremost, they're saying that they're receiving conflicting instructions that make it very difficult and unreasonably difficult to effectively represent her. Now, they didn't list exactly what these conflicting instructions are because they're saying because of attorney-client privilege, they didn't want to put it in documents because they know these documents will become public. But they are asking to have a private conversation with the judge in quarters. Now, they did mention that these instructions that were conflicting pertain to what she alleges in her filing, which is what we just talked about, and say that her demands were ever evolving and very conflicting as well. They said that the instructions were instructions that went to defendants, which would be Diddy and his team in this scenario, and other third parties. Now, the second reason why they went out, they say that there's a breakdown in the attorney-client relationship. So they say that on top of the instructions that they're receiving from her just basically being confusing, there are some irreconcilable differences. And they're saying that, you know, they don't want to get into the irreconcilable differences, but these are things that is making it difficult to the point where they can't communicate with her effectively and they can't lead her effectively. And they point out that normally when someone says that there's a breakdown in an attorney-client relationship, this is a clause that if a judge says, okay, this is actually happening, a judge can rule, okay, y'all can get on up out of here, even if the client is saying, no, that's not happening and they need to stay. Now, the third reason that they went out, there's 4 reasons, is irreconcilable differences. They kind of break it down a little bit more. They say, and they reference the NY state rule that says a lawyer may withdraw from representation when the client insists on taking action that the attorney does not agree with. Now, in this case, her attorneys do not agree with certain settlement demands that she has been bringing to the table and wanting them to execute. They don't agree with her undermining behaviors and questionable actions that she's been demonstrating. And they say because of a lack of disrespect, how she talks to and how she deals with the attorneys, that there has become tension, so it's just difficult to work with her. Now, the fourth reason is I guess there was some sort of agreement between an additional agreement. So they agreed to represent her, and then while representing her, things just got so hectic, they had to come up with an additional agreement. So on September 24th, they went to her and said, look, everything that you're doing, you're going to not only mess up your own reputation, but you're going to mess up this case if you're planning to go forward with it. And they set this new agreement. She was supposed to, I guess, follow the terms of the new agreement, which would then they were trying to protect her and protect the lawsuit in the case that they filed. She violated that 2 days later on September 26th. And after she violated it, she began to text them right after, like as if nothing even happened. Now, the attorneys do say that they were actually contacted by another attorney who said that Audrey had reached out to this office to represent her because I guess she knew it was coming to an end with the attorneys as well too. So the judge shouldn't have any reason to let the lawyers withdraw. Now, normally when a judge is thinking about a reason why a lawyer can withdraw from a case, you have to think about prejudice, and you have to think about the timing, right? So is this going to put your client in a position where they don't have enough time to build their case? So they point out early in the game in this filing that time will not be obstructed whatsoever. There was something that was due from their end of things on October 1st, which was 2 days ago, and they've already asked for an extension on that timing, so her new attorneys will be able to do that. And as far as prejudice, that's why they left a lot out of this withdrawing filing, because they don't want any prejudice or people to be able to form an opinion about her from this. So they're like, look, we didn't already dotted our I's, crossed our T's, please let us on up out of here. So a judge will have to make a determination if this is something that will make sense, and it'll be following that conversation. Now, it'll be really interesting once this conversation is had and once the decision is made, what comes out as far as the details, like what was so damning that they thought, yo, we got to get up out of here, that they thought the filing in the case would be damaged, because I think that'll speak to whether or not the attorneys believe the claims were even valid based off of how she was moving once the claims were filed. And I will mention that this is also the woman who, she went back and filed a police report years later on this situation after she filed her civil suit. And at the time, Diddy's attorney said, like, basically anybody can file a civil suit. So let's be, you know what I mean? Civil lawsuit. So let's be clear.
You just spit a lot. Because I'm confused.
That was a good job, though.
Yeah. Tell me what you're confused about, because if you're confused, the people are probably confused. So I want to break it down.
I'm just curious. So they're pretty much backing out because they believe that a lot of the stuff that she said is not true.
Well, I can't say yes to that 100%. That is my interpretation of what I think it is. And the only reason why I can't say yes to that 100% is because they left out a lot of details because of attorney-client privilege, and because they didn't want the world and us to be able to look at her and make a judgment, or anybody else. So the defense, right?
Gotcha.
So I can't say that. But from what I'm reading here, it sounds like, I wouldn't even say that they don't believe what she's claiming, but whatever she claimed, they're saying that her actions following it make no sense if what she's claiming is true. And also, she's just difficult to work with. She's a hard client to have, and she's not following their instructions. And they're the attorneys. They know what's best.
Right.
Now, Diddy's...
What are the instructions, though? Why do you need instructions? All she should be doing is telling her truth, right?
Well, they want her to be quiet and only say it when the attorneys allow it, not just go and talk and do interviews.
I mean, I think I don't even. Maybe it's that they don't specify, but they also do mention something about communications that were being sent from the plaintiffs to the defendants. So from the accuser side to Diddy's side, they're saying she's basically confusing them. Like, she's asking them to relay things that don't make sense. She's making demands for certain settlements and different things that, in their opinion, do not make sense.
She's trying to do their job. Allegedly, and just wanting them to do things that they're saying this makes no sense. Gotcha.
So either it makes no sense because they don't believe now, to your point, the claims, or it makes no sense because it's just not how they would go about it. I can't answer that question.
Gotcha.
But either one of the two is enough for them to be like, we need to get on up out of here. Now, I do want to mention that Diddy's team did release a statement when this filing happened. They said less than 3 months after filing her lawsuit against Sean Combs, Audrey English has been dropped by both of her attorneys after making completely fabricated statements. In papers filed with the court today, her former attorney cited Miss English's questionable antics and undermining behavior. As we've said from the start, anyone can file a lawsuit without proof, and this case is a clear example of that. Audrey English escalated things by filing false police reports and making baseless claims using high-profile events as a backdrop to harm innocent people. No matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted or sexually trafficked anyone, so they're standing 10 toes down. And as I said earlier, they did say when she first filed all of this that, anybody can file a civil suit. So
that's true.
Another thing we just gonna have to file and see, but this even if she gets another attorney, this isn't a good look for her at all.
Yeah, I mean, and the crazy thing, if you confused now, it's only gonna get more complicated because you got 120 more cases coming from the guy in Houston. You got women, you got guys. When the men start talking about Diddy touching their butts, it's gonna get complicated.
Oh, that's not gonna get confusing. You're gonna explain that one right to me. I know that.
I was about to say.
I don't know anything about that on a legal level.
Not on a legal level, but I mean on a personal level.
I don't know that. I don't know that level either. Okay. All right, but it's going to get complicated.
What's your baby oil say behind you?
My baby oil.
Oh, that's not. You see that?
Why do you have that?
You see what's signed by?
Get that baby oil, man. Envy put that back.
I didn't put that there. I did not put nothing back there.
A source close to the baby oil said,
don't worry.
You can fill us in on everything we're confused about the touching, the rubbing, and the button.
I'm learning more.
Can you turn Nyla's mic on? Nyla's here, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me tell you something. I'm learning more and more how to use AI and stuff every day. Okay? So Envy, keep it up. he may not be in those freak off tapes, but he will playing with me. Okay.
All right.
Playing with you how? Let's go.
That is Jess with the Mess with Laura LaRosa.
I have you on there sucking a rapper's titty, and it won't be a woman.
What's wrong with you, man?
Not Envy.
Why the accent?
We got Envy. You better.
I'm wrapping it up. It's the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.